I gotta be real careful because Lori, boy, she be in my, I can't make no mistakes. I can't make stuff. I saw one of her exes somewhere at a game somewhere and I shook his hand, boy, I can't even touch his no more. I better not acknowledge him or look at him or nothing no more. So I'm off limits. If you are ex, your ex is my ex too. That's the rule. The rule in our house is any boy that's an ex, he's now my ex.
Craziest rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
That I don't date black women.
So the talk going around is that Steve Harvey is still holding a serious grudge against Michael B. Jordan. And it's not just light shade, it's deep. The rumor is MBJ treated Lori like a diversity pick on his dating resume, not something real. People close to the family have been whispering that him calling Lori his black queen felt more like a PR move than genuine love because, according to them, his usual type leans toward a very specific low melanin look. In that story, Lori wasn't the forever girl. She was just a temporary fix to polish his image and keep things looking good in public. Now it gets messier. Allegedly, Steve isn't just hearing rumors. He's convinced MBJ was stepping out on Lori with an ex the whole time. And from that angle, he's calling him the worst boyfriend she's had, which is wild considering how perfect they looked on the outside. Some people really thought MBJ was the upgrade Lori needed, but behind the scenes, the story sounds way more chaotic than that. And here's another twist. There were reports saying Steve actually low-key wanted Lori to spin the block and get back with Michael after their breakup. At the same time, Lori was said to be on thin ice with Steve after that Future situationship, and getting with Michael helped her smooth things over at home. From that perspective, MBJ came off as the most polished and respectable guy she'd been with since the Memphis days, especially with his clean Hollywood image compared to her past lineup. So according to insiders, that whole relationship was meant to fix Lori's image and bring back her respect. And for a minute, it actually worked. While they were together, everything looked polished and put together, which is why Steve allegedly low-key hoped they would spin back and try again. But the reality hit fast. They didn't even last that long. And once it ended, things got weird real quick.
I'm on vacation right now, okay? I'm traveling around. Newsflash, okay? All right? Yeah. There's not a lot of black women in Italy, okay? It's not. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not, okay? Y'all bug it. I read through the comments and y'all tearing your boy up. It's too much, man. Y'all doing too much.
Not long after the breakup, MBJ showed up at an NBA game looking completely drained, like the energy was gone. And fans noticed right away because it didn't look like a normal split at all. Then it got even more dramatic. Both of them unfollowed each other instantly and wiped every trace of their 2-year relationship like it never happened. Photos gone, memories gone, everything deleted within hours. And MBJ didn't stay quiet either. He later dropped that bold "her loss" line during a public moment, which had people talking non-stop. Fans were confused and disappointed because they really believed he was serious about Lori and not playing around. And honestly, there were signs that made people believe it was real. MBJ brought Lori home to meet his mom, which is something he barely ever does, only a couple times in his life. He spent Christmas with her and her family, fully locked in, no distance at all. Even Steve Harvey was openly praising him, saying he respected how Michael dated Lori with intention and treated her like a queen, which made the breakup hit even harder for people watching from the outside. What's wild is that even after the breakup, MBJ still seemed to be Steve's favorite ex out of Lori's. He even spoke about running into him years later and being genuinely happy to see him, which caught people off guard. But behind the scenes, Lori reportedly shut that down fast and told Steve to keep his distance from Michael for good.
Back when everything first fell apart, people were saying Steve took the breakup harder than anyone else, almost like he really believed in that relationship. It had folks thinking MBJ left a strong impression on the whole family, not just Lori. But now the story is flipping completely. Allegedly, Steve has been telling a totally different version, claiming none of that praise really mattered and that Michael B. Jordan was actually Lori's worst boyfriend.
Michael B. Jordan come up. Can you comment on situations like that? It doesn't matter who's who. It really doesn't. It's a story. And I think that people want the drama. They want, this was that person, that was this, that was that. And it's like, it really doesn't matter. I think that for me, it was also about writing truthfully And I didn't like try to hide anything throughout the book. Like, I was very honest with my story because it's my story at the end of the day. Yeah, I think that, people can think whatever they want to think. I love them for wanting to find out who's who, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
He's reportedly been saying MBJ wasn't ready and didn't measure up as a man for his daughter. And considering Lori's dating history is pretty long, that's a bold statement that's raising a lot of eyebrows. Lori's dating history is definitely a long one, and people keep bringing it up when this conversation comes up. More recently, she was linked to Damson Idris, and right before that, she was with Michael B. Jordan. But even before MBJ entered the picture, Lori was reportedly getting close to Abu Butium. They were spotted looking real cozy in a Miami nightclub back in October 2020, just weeks before she and Michael became a thing. Going further back, things get even layered. Toward the end of 2019, Lori was involved with Future, and that came after her time with Justin Combs. And yes, people also mentioned her connection with Diddy, which had everyone talking at the time. In 2018, she was linked to Trey Songz, and not long after that ended, she was reportedly seen getting very close with Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton during Super Bowl weekend festivities. And that's not even everything. She was once engaged to Dutch soccer player Memphis Depay, which showed things were getting serious at one point. And according to ongoing chatter, there have been other relationships that never fully made headlines, involving people outside the spotlight. So when people look at that full list, some find it hard to believe MBJ would rank as the worst out of all of them. But allegedly, Steve's issue isn't just about how the relationship went. It's about the idea that Michael may have used Lori to reshape his image, especially with rumors about his past dating preferences leaning toward white and light-skinned women, which adds a whole extra layer to this drama. For context, there's been talk for years about Michael B. Jordan's dating preferences, with some people claiming he doesn't usually go for darker-skinned women, and they point to his dating history as proof. That conversation has followed him for a long time and keeps popping back up whenever his relationships get attention. Take 2014, for example. Michael was rumored to be seeing Catherine Pies after the two were spotted getting very close on a jet ski, and people ran with that instantly. This was right before she went on to meet her former husband, who she later got engaged to in 2017. Fast forward, she's now moved on with her life, but things got stirred up again when her memoir dropped, hinting at past betrayals that had fans connecting dots back to MBJ. It didn't stop there. Some fans even started speculating that Michael might be the person she referenced in her book involving a pregnancy situation, although she has never confirmed any of those claims. Still, the rumor spread fast and kept his name in the mix. And then there's 2015, when Michael was linked to Kendall Jenner. That situation brought a lot of attention, especially from fans who expected him to date a black woman. Michael addressed the backlash in a GQ interview, saying a lot of black fans were feeling like, oh my God, he should have been with a black woman, and that whole thing, making it clear he was aware of the criticism surrounding his dating choices.
He even responded to the criticism back then, basically saying, I get it. But on the other hand, it's like, relax, It's 2015, it's okay. People can like one another, not necessarily from the same history or culture or whatever it is. It's just a new world, you know what I mean? That statement had people split. Some agreed, while others felt like he was dodging the bigger conversation. Then 2018 came around, and things got even louder. Videos popped up of Michael celebrating New Year's Eve with Ashlyn Castro, who was light-skinned with Latina and European roots, and the internet went off. That was peak boycott MBJ energy, with people accusing him of overlooking black women completely. The memes started flying everywhere, painting this image that he only goes for white or light-skinned women and is stuck in the conversation. By 2019, the chatter didn't slow down at all. He was spotted having a long dinner at Carbone in NYC with French model Cindy Bruna, who also has a lighter complexion, and once again, people had something to say. Then clips and stories started surfacing from a club in France, where it was alleged that security was being selective about who got into his VIP section, which only added more fuel to the rumors. Things reportedly got chaotic inside, too, with people describing a wild party atmosphere and moments that had everyone talking afterward. And on another trip, Michael was seen vacationing with a group that didn't reflect much diversity, which led to even more questions online about his dating patterns and social circles. All of it kept building this ongoing narrative that refuses to die down. Since all that noise, Michael has mostly been in defense mode, constantly addressing rumors about who he dates and why. Every time he's seen with someone new, the conversation starts all over again, and he ends up having to explain himself. It even happened when he was linked to Swedish singer Snow Allegra, and people instantly began questioning his preferences again. At one point, he spoke to Essence and made it clear those rumors don't match his reality at all. In his words, it's so funny to everybody because it couldn't be further from the truth. My dad and my mom both said if they only knew, if they only knew. And that's the thing that keeps me not tripping about it, you know what I mean? He made it sound like the people closest to him see a completely different picture than what's being pushed online. But even with that confidence, he admitted the constant speculation got to him for a while. He explained, "It makes me hesitant about whoever I'm seen with. I'm finally starting to get to a place now where I don't care, but it bothered me for a minute." That kind of pressure clearly made him more aware of how he moves in public. He even broke it down further, saying, "It made me more conscious of things I say and how I move and what could happen if I leave a club or a restaurant or the movies. If I leave anywhere, any known place with anybody, there's going to be speculation." And honestly, that level of scrutiny shows how intense the spotlight really gets when every move turns into a headline.
Not a funny one. It was a funny comment on there talking about the cookies and something about white milk. No, I like milk, all right? I like chocolate milk. I love chocolate. I like almond milk, strawberry milk. You know the Cinnamon Toast Crunch? You know what I'm saying? The milk after that, I like that too. That's pretty good, all right? I like milk, period. Y'all just doing a lot. Y'all gotta chill.
On top of that, he was hit with the same question during the interview on The Breakfast Club, and his response kept that same energy, standing firm and brushing off the rumors. Still, no matter how many times he explained himself, the speculation just wouldn't slow down. Now, here's where things get even more intense. Word going around claims Steve Harvey has been saying that even during Michael's relationship with Lori, his real preference never changed, and the whole situation was more about image than anything genuine. According to those rumors, Lori was part of a bigger picture for him, not the full story. And it doesn't stop there. There have also been claims that Steve backed up allegations that Michael was unfaithful, reportedly reconnecting with an ex while still with Lori. Those rumors originally picked up steam from Lisa Ray, who was known to be close to Lori's mom, Marjorie, which made people take it even more seriously. And when neither Lori nor Marjorie publicly shut it down, that silence only made the situation feel even louder. And that silence, it really kept people talking, because when stories like that come out and nobody directly shuts them down, the internet starts filling in the blanks on its own, and it gets messy fast. Some fans took it as confirmation, while others argued it was all just exaggerated gossip getting out of control. At the same time, there were also people defending Michael, saying none of these claims were ever proven and that everything was being built off assumptions and secondhand stories. They pointed out that public relationships already come with pressure, and once rumors get attached, it becomes almost impossible to separate fact from fiction. Meanwhile, Lori stayed moving forward, keeping her personal life more low-key and controlled compared to before. That shift didn't go unnoticed either, because now people are watching even closer, trying to read into every move she makes. And with Steve allegedly changing his tone about Michael, it just added another layer to a situation that already had way too many unanswered questions hanging in the air. And now, people are really starting to question what actually went down behind closed doors, because the public only saw the polished version, cute photos, red carpet moments, and that picture-perfect vibe. But the rumors paint a completely different story. It's like two separate narratives are fighting each other, and nobody can fully prove which one is real. Some insiders keep hitting that the breakup wasn't as mutual as it looked, and that there were deeper issues that never made it to the surface. Not just timing or busy schedules, but real tension that built up over time. And if those cheating rumors and image concerns had any truth to them, it would explain why everything ended so abruptly and got wiped off social media so fast.
At the same time, others are saying Steve's recent comments might be coming from a protective place as a father, especially after seeing how everything played out. Because regardless of status and fame, at the end of the day, that's still his daughter. And if he feels like she wasn't treated right, that could easily explain why his tone about Michael has shifted so drastically now. What makes this even more complicated is how both of them moved after the breakup.
Michael threw himself deeper into work, staying booked and busy, while Lori seemed to tighten up her circle and keep things way more private than before. That contrast had people reading between the lines, wondering who really walked away unaffected and who didn't. And even without direct statements, little moments kept the conversation alive. Fans started analyzing interviews, body language, even subtle comments, trying to catch clues about how things really ended. Every appearance turned into a guessing game, and the speculation just kept stacking up. Then you got the bigger question hanging over everything. Was this relationship ever what it looked like on the surface? Because if it was genuine, the way it ended feels sudden and cold. But if it was more strategic, like some people claim, then the quick cleanup and silence start to make a lot more sense. Either way, the story still doesn't feel complete, and people can tell there's more that hasn't been said.
White women, did you cut off white women during that?
Oh, man. Why would that go back there? I like women, period. All women. Everybody's on the table.
Okay.
And that's exactly why this situation still has people locked in, trying to piece everything together. Because no matter how much time passes, new details and old rumors keep circling back around, making it hard to ignore. It's like every time things start to quiet down, something else pops up and pulls the whole story right back into the spotlight. What really keeps the conversation alive is how many different angles there are to look at this from. Some people still believe Michael was serious and just got caught up in a situation that didn't work out. But others are convinced there was always an image strategy behind it all. And then there are those who think the truth sits somewhere in the middle, way more complicated than what's being said publicly. At the end of the day, without either of them fully breaking it down, everything stays in that gray area. And with Steve's alleged comments adding even more tension to the narrative, it just leaves people watching closely, waiting to see if anything new slips out that finally connects all the dots. And now the attention is shifting to what happens next, because people aren't just focused on the past anymore. They're watching every move going forward. Every new sighting, every interview, every little interaction gets picked apart like it's hiding some kind of clue. That level of attention doesn't fade easily, especially when the story still feels unfinished. There's also growing curiosity about whether either of them will ever fully speak on it, because so far it's all been subtle responses, indirect comments, or complete silence, which only keeps the mystery alive. And let's be real, if one of them ever decides to really open up, it would instantly change the entire narrative overnight. At the same time, people are starting to question how much of this is real versus how much has been shaped by outside voices. Between insiders, friends, and online chatter, the story has taken on a life of its own. And until something solid comes straight from the source, this situation is going to stay full of speculation, side eyes, and non-stop debate that just refuses to die down. And now, there's this growing feeling that the full truth might never actually come out, at least not in a clear, clean way. Because the longer both sides stay quiet, the more the story gets shaped by outsiders. And that version can get messy real fast. People start connecting dots that may not even belong together, and suddenly the narrative takes on a life of its own. At the same time, the public image for both of them keeps evolving. Michael continues building his career and keeping things polished on the surface, while Lori stays calculated and low-key, revealing only what she wants people to see. That contrast keeps fans watching closely, trying to catch any shift in energy or hidden message. And let's not ignore this. Steve's alleged stance still lingers in the background, and it adds pressure to everything. Because when a father publicly or privately shows disapproval, it changes how people view the entire situation. So even without fresh drama dropping every day, the tension is still there, sitting quietly and waiting for the next moment that brings everything back to the surface. And at this point, the conversation has gone beyond just one relationship. It's turned into a bigger debate about image, expectations, and how celebrity dating really works behind the scenes. People are no longer just asking what happened between Lori and Michael. They're questioning how much of any high-profile relationship is actually real versus carefully presented for the public. There's also this ongoing split in how people see Lori herself. Some view her as someone who moves smart and protects her peace, while others keep trying to tie every past relationship into one big narrative. That constant spotlight makes every decision look bigger than it actually is, and it keeps her name trending no matter what she does. Meanwhile, Michael's name keeps getting pulled back into the mix anytime these discussions pop up, even when he's not directly involved anymore. That's what makes this whole situation stick,
Neither of them is actively feeding the drama, but the story keeps moving anyway. And as long as questions keep outweighing answers, this situation isn't fading anytime soon.
I think at the same time, she's young. I think the established relationship that Michael did have before this one, I think that maybe that social media, that all of that was a lot for him. And I think that he, I will say this, I heard about his ex and him was so serious that he may have missed.
And what's really keeping this alive is how the internet refuses to let the story settle. Every few months, an old clip resurfaces, a past interview gets reanalyzed, or a new rumor pops up, and suddenly everything feels fresh again. It's like this situation is stuck on replay, and people keep finding new angles to question. There's also this constant comparison game happening. Anytime Lori or Michael is seen with someone new, the comments instantly start. Who moved on better? Who looks happier? Who won the breakup? It turns something personal into a public scoreboard, and that just keeps the pressure going, even when both of them have clearly moved on. And through all of that, the original questions still haven't been answered. Was it real love that just didn't last, or was there more going on behind the scenes that never came out? That mystery is what keeps people hooked, because until something concrete comes out, the speculation keeps growing louder instead of fading away. And now it's gotten to the point where even the smallest detail can set everything off again. A simple like, a follow, or even being seen at the same event can have people spiraling into full theories within minutes. That level of attention keeps the story alive, even when nothing major is actually happening. There's also this idea floating around that both of them learned from the situation in very different ways. Lori appears more guarded and selective, moving with intention and keeping her circle tight, while Michael seems even more private, choosing to stay quiet rather than address every rumor thrown his way. That shift in how they move only adds more curiosity, because people can tell something changed after that relationship. And with all these layers, family opinions, public speculation, past rumors, and total silence from the main people involved, it creates a story that never fully closes. Instead, it just keeps evolving, pulling people back in every time a new piece, real or rumored, gets added to the mix. And now the conversation has reached that stage where even people who weren't paying attention before are starting to tune in. Because when a story keeps resurfacing like this, it pulls in new eyes, new opinions, and a whole new wave of reactions. Suddenly, it's not just old fans discussing it, it's a broader audience trying to figure out what really happened. What makes it even more intense is how social media keeps amplifying every angle. One viral post can bring back old rumors, and within hours, it feels like the whole situation is trending all over again. And with so many different takes flying around, the line between fact and assumption keeps getting blurrier.
At the same time, neither Lori nor Michael has stepped in to fully clear anything up, and that silence continues to speak volumes to the public, because in situations like this, no response can sometimes feel louder than an explanation, and until something direct comes from either side, this story is going to keep looping, growing, and pulling people deeper into the mystery. According to Lisa Ray, those claims about Lori and Michael breaking up because she wasn't ready for marriage are completely false. She says it wasn't about fear or timing at all. Lori was actually ready to take that step, but just days before things were supposed to get serious, she allegedly found out Michael was dealing with his white ex behind the scenes, and that changed everything instantly. From that point, she was done and not willing to overlook it. What really made people look twice is the silence that followed. While all these rumors were spreading like wildfire, neither Lori nor anyone from her family stepped in to shut it down or defend Michael publicly. That quiet response had a lot of people thinking there might be some truth to the cheating claims, because usually something that big gets denied fast if it's not real. And now, with talk that Steve might be bringing those same rumors back into conversations, it's only adding more tension to the story. Some people think he's just holding on to resentment, while others believe Lori may have walked away from something solid too soon. Either way, the opinions are all over the place. So now I need to hear from you. Do you think Michael B. Jordan was really the worst boyfriend Lori ever had, or is this all getting blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear this tea.